Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Each one of you is welcome to from wherever you are connecting. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, isn't it all meditation techniques are really doings? In a way, each technique is a doing, but in a deeper way, no. Meditation techniques are doing because you are advised to do something. Look at a bird. Bird makes an effort, flaps its wings to fly. This is doing. When she reaches a certain altitude, what the bird does, she simply lays its wings stretched and floats. So everything that happens or you do in life begins with an effort, with doing. Then as you gain momentum, gain the rhythm, the doing becomes non-doing, effort becomes effortlessness. So Zen pay emphasis on effortlessness. You are going on a hill. When you going up the hill, much effort is needed. Even your vehicle will need extra acceleration and maybe with a different gear that will help it to go up the hill. But when it is you are descending, coming down, you do not need to accelerate the vehicle. Your foot is not on the accelerator. When the vehicle is on the slope, your feet is on the brake. And through the brake, because the vehicle has gone into the mode of momentum, auto acceleration, it is on the slope. So anything that you do, it has two aspects. First is effort when it is climbing up, when you are descending, and then you are on the flat surface. So everything in life begins with that. In the beginning, to start a vehicle, you need extra energy. But when the vehicle is started, it does not require that much energy. If you start running, you need extra energy in the beginning. Thereafter, the things become normalized. You get into the flow, into the rhythm. Then it becomes effortless. Those who have experienced this, you are beginning to do. I am taking the example, many examples. You are doing the videos of all the recordings. In the beginning, it was an effort, and you had to spend more time to do that. You gain the momentum, you gain the proficiency. Now you are not taking that much time which was needed. If you are doing a cooking or creating any dish, first time when you do each step, you have to look into the recipe. Are you going in the right direction? You need to see how long you have to do this particular process, but eventually it becomes natural and spontaneous. So same thing applies with meditation. You are advised to do something. Even to meditate, you are to do something. You have to sit in a position. You are asked. So you are trying to make sure that you have attained the position correctly. If you are sitting in the chair, not on the chair, so how to be sitting with your back straight, or if you have to sit down on the ground in a lotus position, how to attain to that position comfortably so you do not feel the discomfort. If you are using Zen meditation stools or chairs, how to sit down, how to keep your feet on, how to keep the feet in what position. When you are offering your salat, the prayer namaz, you have to sit down in a particular posture. So you are asked to do something. Even not to do something is a sort of doing. If I ask you to sit down, to do nothing, in the beginning that will be an effort, because your whole life has been trained to do something. That is why Zen says, sitting silently, grass grows by itself. So in a superficial way, all meditation techniques begin with doing, but in a deeper way they are not. Because if you succeed in them, if you get into the process of them, then doing disappears. Only in the beginning it appears that you are making an effort. Once you succeed in it, the effort disappears and the whole process becomes spontaneous and effortless. This is a simple technique, simple way. There is no rocket science in it. But when it comes to meditation and so, these kind of simple questions are also asked. If you succeed, it is no more doing. No effort is needed on your part. It becomes just like breathing. It is there. But in the beginning, the effort is bound to be there because mind cannot do anything which does not require any effort. So your mind has to be handled. If you tell it to be effortless, the whole thing will appear to the mind to be absurd. In Zen, where much emphasis is paid on effortlessness, the master says to the disciple, just sit and do not do anything. And the disciple tries. Of course, what can he do other than trying? The disciple tries to just sit, and he tries to just sit. He tries not to do anything, and then the master hits him on his head with his staff and said, don't do this. If I ask you to sit down quietly, the body starts feeling fidgeting, restless, do all kind of things. The hands, you ask a child to sit down in the corner and don't do anything. See what happens. You ask the people that we have to sit down in meditation on the grass because it is very good. So we will sit down on the grass. You will see people sitting down and pulling the grass. You feel restless if you're not doing anything. That's why it is told you that when the master, Zen master says, I have told you not to do anything, just try to sit, because that becomes an effort. And don't try to do anything, because that is a sort of doing. Simply sit. If I tell you to simply sit, what will you do? You will be doing something. If I told you to sit on the grass, because it is very good, so you are sitting on the grass but pulling the grass, which will make it not a simple sitting. An effort will enter. You will be sitting with an effort, a strain will be there. You cannot simply sit, it looks strange. But the moment you try to sit simply, it has become complex. The very effort to sit makes it complex. So what to do? Years pass and the disciple goes on sitting and being blamed, condemned by the master that he is missing the point, but he simply goes on, and every day he is a failure, because the effort is there and he cannot deceive the master. But one day, just patiently sitting, even this consciousness to sit simply disappears. One day, suddenly he is sitting like a tree, like a rock, nothing doing. And then the master says, this is the right posture. Now you have attained. Now remember this. And this is the way to sit. But it makes patience, and it requires patience and long effort to achieve this effortlessness. A disciple of a Zen master was a painter. So he painted the stake of bamboo. I do not know the exact name that is used when the bamboos grow in a particular place. So each time when he does it, he brought it to the master. Master said it is not real. He made an effort again and did it. Again the master said no, it is not real. So one day when the time passed on and nothing happened, he asked what to do. He said, go and be the bamboo. How can you be the bamboo? Because if you are painting the bamboo, you have to feel that you are bamboo. You want to learn cooking from the recipe book, you will never succeed. Your dish will not be, you have to enter into meditatively. You have to feel that every ingredient that you are using is alive and you are communing with it. You are communing with the vegetables, with the spices, the entire process. There was a Zen master, he was a carpenter. His fame spread far and wide. Once the king called him and he said, I want you to prepare a chair. How long will it take? The Zen master said, I do not know. I have to go to the forest. And then find out which tree is ready to be converted into a chair. But won't you find it stupid? What is that has to do that you have to ask a tree? You have to ask a tree. You have to ask the spices, are you ready to go into this vegetable or not? Would you not consider me as a stupid or fool? But this is the crux of the matter. This is the essence of life. This is the essence of cooking when cooking becomes alive. Whatsoever you do becomes alive and becomes your meditation. So after some time, the king came to his place and find out, what did you did not tell me anything. He said, I went to the forest, I looked around and I talked to the trees. Most of the tree refused. Only one tree said, after 3 months, I will be ready to be converted into the chair. Because if you are dealing with a living person, teaching him something, so you ask him, are you ready to learn today? All right, I will try today. So he tries. You are not ready. Are you ready to learn cooking? So first thing, when you have seen the weightlifters, they first inhale and exhale and they take the deep breath and then they do what this has to do with the weightlifting. You take a deep breath in and out. Then in that you are getting in commune within yourself. And if you are communed within yourself, then you can commune with anyone for that matter. So you can, one person, I haven't heard from her for a long time, from Argentina. We have never met. She wrote something that will be in the memory of, Google would have saved in the memory. Said, the cooking of taoshobuddha is like the painting. He cooks as if he is painting. The painting of Wangwa. He is talking. Somebody asked why the trees are like this. The trees are aspiring to reach to the sky. They want to communicate with the sky. So yes, the whole thing I do not recall, just the essence. His cooking is like the painting of a Wangwa. So this is what it is needed there. So after 3 months, when he found the tree was ready and the chair was made, and this is not a story, this is really, it happened in Japan, in the Zen, and there this chair still exists. All the techniques are just to help you to come out of the effortless moment, the inner transformation, the inner realization cannot happen through effort. Because effort is a sort of tension and effortlessness is a state of relaxation. With effort you cannot be relaxed totally. The effort will create some sort of barrier. With this background in mind, you make effort. By and by, you become capable of leaving the effort also. So everything begins with an effort, and then you are coming that from the effort you have to move to the effortlessness, from word to wordlessness, from sound to no sound, from mind to no mind. It is like swimming. If you know about swimming, you know in the beginning you have to make an effort. But the effort is only in the beginning. Once you know the feel of it, you know what it is, the effort has vanished, you can swim effortlessly. And even a good swimmer cannot say what swimming is. You are a swimmer. Can you tell me what swimming is? What exactly as a swimming you are doing? You cannot explain to me. If you can explain to me what swimming is, you have learned the art of meditation. He cannot explain to me. You cannot explain to me what are you doing. Really, he is not doing anything. He is simply allowing himself to be in deep, responsive relationship with the water. Swimming is deep, responsive relationship with the water, with the river, with the swimming pool, with the ocean. He is not doing anything. Are you doing anything when you are swimming? And if he is still doing, he is still not an expert swimmer. He is still amateur, still learning. If the same thing happens to meditation, the same thing happens to cooking, the same thing happens to writing, the same thing happens to speaking or anything. I will tell you an anecdote. In Burma, which is now Myanmar, one Buddhist monk was ordered to make a design for a few temples, particularly for the gate, design for the gate. So he was making many designs. He had one very talented disciple. So he told the disciple to be near him. When he made the design, the disciple was simply to watch. And if he liked it, he had to say that it was okay, it was right. If he did not like, then he had to say no. And the master said, when you say yes, only then I will send the design. If you go on saying no, I will discard the design and create a new one. Hundreds of designs were discarded in this way. 3 months passed. Even the master became afraid, but he had given his word and he had to keep it. Disciple was there. The master would make a new design and the disciple will say no. The master would start another design. One day, the ink was just about to be finished. So the master said, go out and find more ink. The disciple went out. The master forgot him, his presence. He became effortless. His presence was the problem. The idea was constantly in his mind. The disciple was there, judging. He was constantly wondering whether he would like it or not, whether he will discard this design again. Even when you are cooking for a competition, the same thing remains in your mind. This created an inner anxiety and the master could not be spontaneous. The disciple went out, the design was completed, the disciple came in and he said, wonderful. But why you could not do it before? The master said, now I understand why. Because you were here. Because of you, I was making an effort to get your approval. The effort destroyed the whole thing. I could not be natural. I could not flow naturally. I could not forget myself because of you. The same thing at times I give you when I ask you, you do it on your own, but do it meditatively. I just give you an idea that this is what supposed to be in the scheme of the plan. For instance, for the series, the children's psychology, there are 2 books which I would like each parent should give as a gift to his children. One is Dr. Cutress, written by Dr. Tanya Narendra. She is an acclaimed medical doctor, practitioner. All about your body nobody ever told you. And the other book, Life, Love and Light by Nivedita. This explains the various aspects as an adult you need to know before you venture into your life. Otherwise, what happens? You are stumbling in darkness. Nobody has told you, nowhere you have understood, nobody ever told you anything. And the moment you get attain teenage, you feel that you have got the license to enter into anything that you can do. You know nothing about different aspects of relationship, different aspects of many things. So I had asked the sound engineer to do it in a particular way, but she has to be left on her own to create design out of her own effortlessness. Not that whether this design will be approved or not. I simply give mild suggestions, but not everything. You are at a total freedom to create your design yourself. And each time when the cover for the book was made, I may have to give a slight ideas at times, but nothing else is to be done. Whenever you are doing meditation, the very effort that you are doing it, the very idea of succeeding in it becomes a barrier. You are cooking something. Why are you cooking it? Are you cooking as a joy for yourself, or you are cooking to please the others? You know the basic principles. The food, the Indian food, the first appeal of the food the contact of the food comes through your nostrils. When the smell reaches your nostrils and it tickles your nostrils, the second contact with the food comes through the eyes when you look at the food. The same thing applies about an individual. First contact is through the nostrils, the smell of the person. The second, the looks of the person through the eyes. The third, the taste of the food. When all these 3 things give a solitary result, so you are cooking to please others. Whatsoever you are doing it for others. Start doing the cooking for yourself. That I am cooking for myself. If you like it, is okay. If you don't like it, it doesn't matter. But the food will have a different quality. Whatsoever you do, it will have a different quality. If you are creating the videos, it's not that when the series Tao overflows, it is started. So I said the talks are always in the morning time. Let it be a dawn. And the words should be floating like the birds flying, and the design is created. You can see it. And the person who created must be satisfied that this has been created properly. Whenever you are doing meditation, your very effort is going to be a barrier. The very idea of succeeding in it becomes a barrier. It applies to everything that you do. Be conscious of it, go on doing, and be conscious of it. A day will come, just through the patience, a day will come when there will be no more effort. Really, effort means you are there. Either you are there, your presence is there in the form of the other. Only meditation is, it will take a long time. It cannot be predicted. No one can say when it will happen. When whatsoever you do, that is why I try to create inroads within you, so that you reach to that point that whatsoever you do, it will become an effortless effort, no loss of energy, no tiredness, simply a floating. Because if something is to be achieved by effort, it can be predicted. And if you do it, if you do this much effort, you will succeed. But meditation is going to succeed only when it becomes effortless. Anything that you do can become, the moment it becomes effortless, that becomes meditation for you. It does not matter what it is. It has to be effortless. There should be no idea of succeeding. The whole thing hinges on one thing. When your effort drops and you become spontaneous, when your meditation is not an act, it becomes your being, not part of your being. It becomes your being. Meditation becomes just like love. The more you try to make an effort, love is not there. It is pretension. The moment it becomes spontaneous and effortless, love flows out of you. It is an spontaneous overflow from deep within. You cannot do anything about love. Or can you? And that is why you have been a failure, because you have considered love as doing. If you do anything, you falsify it. It will become artificial. And children are very keen, they have a very sharp eye to know if you are pretending or if your love is real. It will not go deep. You will not be in it. It will be simply an acting. Love is, you cannot do anything about it. You cannot do anything about meditation as well. You cannot do anything about a good cooking, anything. But I don't mean don't do anything, because then you will remain whatsoever you are. You have to do something in the beginning, perfectly conscious. When you are doing it consciously. You are conscious of it. But by only doing, you will achieve non-doing. Doing will be needed in the beginning. You cannot leave it. One has to go through it consciously, meditatively. One has to go through it. And then a time will come when you transcend it, and an effortlessness. It will be an effortless floating that has to happen. The path is arduous, but very contradictory. You cannot find anything more contradictory than meditation. And for that matter, anything that you are doing meditatively, even love seems to be is contradictory. Is even cooking is contradictory. Anything that is you are doing, it is from doing to non-doing, from being to non-being. You cannot find anything contradictory because it has to be started with an effort and it has to end as an effortless. It is like a seed. It starts with a form. The seed loses its form and blossoms. A different thing happens there. But it happens. You may not be able to conceive it logically. Not it happens. You will not be able to conceive logically, but in experience it happens. Through experience is a realization. A day will come when you will just get fed up of all your effort, and that very moment the effort falls. Effort falls. It happened to Buddha this way. For 6 years he was making constant efforts, all that was possible. No human being has been so obsessed with becoming enlightened as Gautam Siddhartha was. He did everything that he could possibly do. He moved from one teacher to another, and whatsoever was taught, he did it so perfectly that the teacher has to say that I do not know anything beyond this. Otherwise, the masters or the priests always have an excuse that you did not do this properly. So, if you had done it, it would have happened. But that was not the situation with Siddhartha. That was the problem, because no teacher could say to him that you are not doing well, you are not doing it correctly, that why are you not achieving? That is impossible. He is doing better than any master could do. So the masters has to confess. They said, only this much I can teach you. Beyond this, I don't know. So you have to find someone else. He was a very dangerous disciple as a disciple. Only dangerous disciples achieve. He studied everything that was possible. Whatsoever he was told, he would do it. Absolutely as it is told, verbatim. And then he would come to the master and say, I have done it, but nothing has happened. So what next? The teacher would say, you go somewhere else. Only this much I had known. There was one teacher in the Himalayas, go there. Or one teacher is somewhere else in the forest, go there. He would know more than this. He went around and around for 6 years, did all that was humanly possible, but nothing. He got fed up. The whole thing appeared futile, fruitless, meaningless. Then one night, relaxed all efforts. He was sitting under the Bodhi tree and he said, now everything is finished. In the world, there is nothing. And in this spiritual search, also there is nothing. Now there is nothing for me to do. Nothing for me to do. Everything is finished. Not only in this world, but in the other world as well. Suddenly, all effort dropped. He was empty. Because when there is nothing to do, the mind cannot move. The mind moves only because there is something to do. There is a motivation. There is a goal. Meditation is not a goal. Mind is goal oriented. Meditation is not goal oriented. Mind moves because something is possible. Something is to be achieved. There is a future. If only today. If not today, then tomorrow. But the possibility is there that one can achieve it. Mind moves. That night, Buddha came to the very dead point. Really, he died. That very moment, because there was no future. Nothing was to be achieved, and nothing could be achieved. I have done everything. The whole world is futile, and this word existence is a nightmare. Not only the material world became futile, instead the spiritual world became futile for him as well. He relaxed. Not that he did something to relax. When everything you find is futile, all of a sudden something dawns in you. This is the point to understand. There is nothing to be tense. He is not doing anything because there is nothing to do. There is nothing to achieve, nowhere to go. Therefore he relaxed. There was no effort on his part. Before that, he was sitting. He was trying to cross over the river Niranjana. He was frail and weak with years of austerity and penances. He fell down in the river. A stony river fell down. He could not have the strength to get up. There was a tree leaning from the other side of the shore. He held on to that. He started watching the stars disappear one by one. As the stars were disappearing, the effort was disappearing. The hopes was disappearing. He had reached to the state of when there is no hope, no effort. Somehow, as the last star disappeared from the sky, as the outer sky became clear, his inner sky too became clear. He came out of the river bed, make a bed of leaves, sat under the Bodhi tree. He was not trying relaxation. There was nothing to do, nothing to be tense about, nothing to desire, no future, no hope. He was absolutely hopeless that night, relaxed. Relaxation happened spontaneously. You cannot relax. Relaxation is not effort. It is the end of effortlessness. When effortlessness, the moment your effort reaches its pinnacle, the effort drops out. The moment the leaf attains fulfillment, it falls. There is up to then, the leaf was making an effort, growing, changing its color, all was an effort. Effort dropped, leaf dropped. in a state of effortlessness, leaf fell from the tree, separated from the tree, tossing and turning on the wings of the wind. It fell and settled on the ground. Lao Tse saw this and he became enlightened. Seeing the leaf fallen from the tree, tossing and turning on the wings of the wind, it came down on the ground and settled. With that effortlessness, leaf was not making effort. It has simply left itself on the wings of the wind wherever it takes it to. Lao Tse got awakened. Buddha was not doing anything. He was absolutely hopeless that night, relaxed. Relaxation happened. You cannot relax because something or the other is still there to be achieved. That goes on steering your mind. You go on spinning and spinning around and round like a dog. Dog's tail is spinning. One day a dog was relaxing on a cold winter morning under the warmth of the sun. It saw the shadow of its tail. It tried to capture it. The more it moved round and round, the more the tail moved. This is how your mind is. The more you move round and round to catch hold of the mind, you can never. Suddenly, the spinning is stopped. The wheel is stopped. Buddha relaxed and he fell asleep. In the morning when he woke, the last star was settling. He looked at the last star disappear, and with the last star disappearing, Siddhartha disappeared completely. Siddhartha disappeared completely, effort disappeared completely. Awakening dawned, enlightenment surrounded from all corners. The entire existence became enlightened with him at that moment. Entire existence, cosmos, became alive and enlightened that very moment. Then people started asking, what did you achieve? How did you achieve this? What was the method? And all Buddhists are following the methods. Now you can understand the difficulty of Buddha. I have explained everything in that way, but that creates a problem. How to explain to you that cannot be explained? How to share with you that cannot be shared? But it is happening. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.